Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video to the Shoulders of Giants YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a two-step formula you can use to break down if you should buy into an NFT project or not. If you like these kind of videos, go down below, press like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so in front of me, I have on my screen is a Google spreadsheet. Now I'm just gonna scroll so it doesn't confuse, and we'll get started one step at a time. The main thing we are doing when we're getting into a project is, first of all, making sure that we do not lose money, right? It's more like a defense. So the very first set of activities that we're going to be doing is to make sure it's on the defense side. A lot of people, what happens is that they get into an NFT project and it doesn't even sell out. It doesn't even finish minting out, instantly guaranteeing that you're gonna crash the price. Even if the project sells out, what happens even more common than that is that if soon after the project sells out, it's gonna go down in value. And a lot of times it absolutely crashes and head towards zero within a couple of days after it mints out. So that's the first thing, just to make sure we're not going to lose money. The second step is bullishness. Can the team execute? And if you see the way I worded it, it's kind of synonyms. The ability for the project to raise in value is almost, in my opinion, synonyms with the idea, will the team be able to execute? And there's a series of steps we're going to be going through where I'm going to show you how I judge if the project has the signs where the team is going to be able to execute. The project we're going to be using in this example is going to be Karafaru NFT. It's a collection of 5,555 toys adopted and created by Museum of Toys and W.D. Willey. So if you're not heard of this project, it looks like a pretty good project. They have a good amount of hype, and it's with a company that has been in the space somewhat way before NFTs, meaning not exactly in art, but they're to do with action figures and cartoons and the whole thing about toys and these kind of, in this entire sector. It's very well fit for the NFT industry. Let's get started. Going back to our list here, you can see that the first thing we have here for Karafaru NFT is to make sure to check how many Twitter followers do they have. So I put it down that they have 82,000 followers on Twitter. Now, I mean, this was just a couple days ago. They already got 98 since then, so they're growing pretty fast. Why is this important? If there's enough hype, enough people who wants to get into projects, that's going to make sure at the very least it's going to sell out, and then preferably not only is it going to sell out, but it's also going to have enough people who's not going to be able to get in who happen to buy right after the project sells out in the early stage from the secondary, putting a floor price that's above the price you would be getting in if you were to mint the project. Number two, we want to go and check out their Twitter page and see how many people from our list of people that we know are following them. Now, this is gonna depend on a case-by-case basis. This is where I say in the past that it's good to have a good amount of people in Twitter that you follow who has good insight in the NFT space that you trust, are able to make calls that are genuinely pretty, good track record. And I follow a bunch of people in that way, and you can see that almost 100 people are on that list is following this project. Now, not all of the people that I follow is someone I could say that I have a huge amount of trust to, but if I scroll down, I can see some of the popular faces which I do trust that are also following this project, putting another bullish sign across the project, giving me a sense that the people that I trust also see something in this project. That means that it's higher likelihood that it's not just me thinking that it's good. Number two, real quick, you want to check out the people that are following the project. As I said in the past, this is a very good way to know that other people that you trust in the space who has a good insight in the NFT space, who has a good track record of calling projects early. And if they're following this project, it's likely that this project has something good going on with it because it's not just you. So this is going to be case-by-case basis. You should follow a good list of people, and if you don't have anybody, you're watching this video and you're relatively early to the space, go follow me on Twitter and see who I'm following, and feel free to follow a bunch of the people that I'm following, and it'll be a pretty good place for you to get started. Third thing I like to look at is see big names that are talking about this project. Big names in loose framework, you could just think of people who have a large audience on Twitter and preferably they're also somebody who has a large audience because they're in the NFT space, right? They're not just like some kind of influencer that has a lot of large audience that came to the NFT space. They are natively in the NFT space, and a lot of their followers have been gained through their calls, through their insight in the NFT space. So as you can see, the first person that I have here is Casper Lee, right? So this guy is, I mean, if you look at his Twitter followers, 5 million followers, right? So they have these huge influencers that's like basically giving them a shout out. At a certain point, I mean, even getting a shout out from somebody who has like 500K followers a lot of times could be enough to sell out the entire project, depending on what kind of, you know, like a person it is. When you have people like this that are mentioning with, you know, such volume, it's gonna really blow it up. Second guy here is Ezek, and these are the guys behind Fanta Bear. They have a huge presence, really, you know, a big project that took off from the Asian market, and you know, they're mentioning it, and the fact that, you know, that's really gonna get the Asian part of the market coming in. Then there's people like this, Mario Batuista, whatever it is, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he has 5 million followers. Again, huge influencers, and then also other projects that have credible namespace from different sides of the NFT entire sphere, bringing in and allocating visibility and exposure to this project here. And then I got a couple people that just like shows the community effort. I've mentioned this in the past that I like to see what the community is talking about the project, and a lot of times nowadays, especially, projects are able to get the community to contribute in terms of how they want to the art to look, right? They're gonna either draw it for the whitelist, etc. Look at the amount of effort that this guy put in for this right here. This is insane, and the amount of effort I can see between, you know, different people when I'm searching for the project that people are putting in. It lets me know how really bullish and how sentiment, like the real sentiment behind the project, the community really has. Especially like this, like these are other people who are artists themselves, are putting their time and effort for free just to get this project a little bit more exposure and showing their confidence behind it. So this is a huge part. Going back to our list right here, and you can see that this is pretty much kind of what I look at when it comes to the defense side of things. Now, for this particular project, for some reason their Discord is not working, so I wasn't able to see that, but I also like to check out the Discord in terms of how many people that are on there and how many people are actually online in Discord, and how much the engagement is going. I like to scroll through and just look at the sentiment in there as well, but I wasn't able to do this for this example because the Discord's not working. However, these are the things that's going to let me know that yes, for sure this project will sell out, and there's high potential that a lot of people who are very looking forward to this project will not be able to get in, and that means that they will be going into the secondary to buy some of the projects, making sure that there's a pretty solid, at least mint price floor, meaning you're not going to lose money at the very least, which is rule number one. Once that is settled, we can go on to the second stage of the system, which is bullishness. Can the team execute? Who is the person behind the project? Are they doxed? Are they anonymous? All this kind of stuff. So let's get into that. When we go on to Twitter, you can see that the company behind this project for Karafaru NFT is Museum of Toys. If you go onto their Instagram, and I like to scroll really far below to see how far back they have started working on this kind of stuff, right? And if I click on one of them, you can see that they have been posting since like 2019 and before for some time, pretty frequently. So this is not just something that just came out of nowhere in the last, you know, couple of months or something because of the NFT space. They have been building toys, building figures. They have a team who's fully doxed, who've been working on it for some time now, and they're happening to enter the NFT space with their previous experience already well established. This adds a huge amount of bullishness to the project, and usually if you're really seeing in the trajectory how things have been going, projects like this, you have not really lost money, right? There's very seldom projects like this have done poorly. I've only seen maybe one or two really that I looked at where the gas fees were insane for those days, like $800,000, and if you only got one, it wasn't worth it. But even for those, if you were able to get in early and get a few, then it would be worth it, if you know what I mean. You know, like it's like basically about the ratio of investment you put in. Long story short, projects like this usually have a lot of bullishness behind them and really are very deserving of this capital. If you really think about the entire NFT space and who's really deserving of capital from investors into it, it's going to be the artists, people who have been doing work of this nature well before the space really blew up, that should be really getting a lot of the, you know, love, share, spotlight, market share that's going on in the OpenSea month-to-month volume in terms of expenditure. Going back to our list here, as you can see, a few things that I noted here is like, you know, co-founder, that is like the company behind it, you could say, their doxed, their previous work and stuff. So, you know, I pulled up a few things that shows that they are fully doxed. This is the whole team and stuff. You know, they have been like taking these pictures. They don't really hide who they are. And the other person who's behind it is this guy called Wid. So if you go into Karafaru, you can see that's by Museum of Toys and this Wid guy. And I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just saying Wid. Maybe it's Wede. I'm not sure, but if I go on his Instagram, again, he's like, you know, on the art side, and you can see again, once again, that he's been working in this space for some time, and it's so colorful. It looks so NFT, but they've been doing it for some time. Again, really bullishness, adds a lot of confidence to the project. The very last section is in the Discord, and like I said, this particular example, their Discord's not working, but I just like to look at the announcements very first thing and read every single announcement and pick out at least 3 of the most bullish Discord announcements that's going on. Now this is going to differ from case by case, but generally speaking, it's partnerships that they have. So I pulled up another project that, you know, just to give an example, as you can see, this project has, you know, partnered with Binance to do some stuff with their land and whatnot. This is Contumium World. And then also another thing is benefits of holding their NFT. So these are announcements that you want to see, you know, what kind of utility does that have? Is it something that a utility that already people have been paying before the NFT space, which could be very much so for this company because they have been around for some time? And if it is, then how much does the average person spend with them? Because you can equate that with the price of the NFT. Generally speaking, in the real world, if people are paying something like $500 for a toy, or, you know, even $100 for a toy, you can say it's at least a 10x multiple in the NFT space. Don't ask me why, it's just the way it works. Any kind of business model that you have traditionally, if it happens to be in the art space, you can put a multiple of at least 10x when it goes to an NFT land. So but with that multiple, you can find out, you know, if they have some bullish information in their Discord. So I just wanted to give, you know, a couple of examples of that sort, you know, like any other thing that is shown that which gave us an idea that they're working on the project. For Contumium World, I put out an example here where this person, you know, as one of the announcements in the Discord, they were putting that their team is working hard, and it kind of shows the setup they have and all the graphics and, you know, technical capabilities that they have. I just check out, like, you know, do I have that software? No. Do I have like these kind of tools and stuff? No. Have I ever seen like, you know, like you know, any normal, like, you know, gig be able to do this in this way or set up in this way? No, it looks like a pretty good, well-standing team that's doing their own thing and you know, working hard on this project, everything from the article to the content to the graphics to the map design. So this is something I like to also see if they share on Discord, which most NFT projects do. They at least give some kind of sneak peeks and stuff like that for, like, you know, more entry-level projects. But high-level projects that have a huge map plan in terms of like the level of their promise that they're making, you want to see some announcements that shows that they have the capability and the technical chops to do something of that caliber. Guys, that was a 2-framework system where you can use to easily break down if a project, 1, you're not going to lose money, and 2, you're going to get some kind of multiple on your money that you invested, because you're investing in people and backing on people who have already been executing for some time. So I hope that helps. Hope you got something out of it. If you like that video, please go down below, just like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference for me, and I'll see you next time.